Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Next video in the saga of this thing, the WellPro KS-1. Okay, so this is crazy. I basically just made this video. You've probably seen it. I think I'll release this one later today, so I've released it this morning. But I kind of was playing around with this yesterday, and I came to the conclusion that I don't like it. I was like, look, if it's a VFC system, it's copied the VFC, it's, yes, $180 cheaper or whatever it is, but it's just not as well built, doesn't have the same finishes, and the actual thing doesn't work. We had issues like with this just kind of coming off, which, yes, is an easy fix. You can very easily put a real grip on here. But for me, the big thing was okay, well, it just doesn't work as well. The issues I had with using it, this magazine, it wasn't compatible in the VFC, and the VFC mag wasn't compatible in there, which would have been a saving grace for me, because I'm like, how do I get hold of these actual mags? They're really difficult to get hold of. But this thing doesn't want me to hate it. I actually was on the Discord earlier, and big shout out to PrimeTec Customs, one of the members of the channel, and actually was on the Discord, and he literally dropped a message in the general. If not, go and join the Discord right now. He dropped a message in the general saying, hey, I've just looked at these WellPros, and it looks like they've made two different versions. They made one originally, which was VFC-based and VFC compatible, or supposedly not really that compatible. And then they have made a newer one, and that would make sense for me because I was waiting for this to come in, which is actually, instead of being VFC compatible, is MWS compatible. So I was like, what are you talking about? That's so weird. What are you saying now that basically if I put an MWS mag in here, then this is going to work with an MWS mag? And I was like, okay, well, that sounds really dumb to me. But as I was sitting there, I literally just come back from a run, which is why I'm looking like this. But I was like, oh, well, you know what? I'll take a Guns Modify mag, just one of the Guns Modify MWS mags, and I'll try and put it in. And it goes in. So you may have remembered yesterday, or you may not, or today probably, because I'm going to release this as a fast update straight after. But this is the VFC mags. And I was like, oh, okay, great. You know, this doesn't even work. And as you can see, these don't go in. They don't lock in. So I was like, okay, well, that's pointless now. I've got one mag for this thing that doesn't work. However, this thing fits. And not only does it fit and look pretty good, because I've got Guns Modified DE or FDE magazines, but this actually also fires. Or let me not premise that. I think there's a BB in there, which is why I'm doing that. But look. So this now, even though on the Octagon website, on all of the websites, everywhere with talking about this WellPro actual rifle, it's actually true what I said in the original video. So now I need to go back to the original video. I was going to take it down and remake that video. Thank God I didn't. And thank you to PrimeTec, because I was going to take down that video and say, I basically said the entire thing wrong, that this is MWS compatible, and it's not. It is MWS compatible, or it's Guns Modify mag compatibility. In this, what I'm going to do now quickly, because this is going to be a fast video, just as a kind of update on the WellPro, but that works. I'm going to test out 3 other different kinds of magazines that may work inside it, MWS-based magazines. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this magazine on an MWS and see if that works, because I'm not a big fan of these mags yet, in that they've got the wrong markings on them and this horrible orange thing. But I actually released a short yesterday, which has not gone viral, but it's 40,000 views in 12 hours. And the main reason it went viral is because I was like, is this the weirdest gas blowback mag that you've ever seen? And the reason for that was this guy popping out. And this basically is like a little track where I can just fill this. There's a little fill hole, so I just pull down the spring. I can fill it up. I can put all the stuff in there. And then I can put this in here. A lot of people were like, that's such a cool idea. And I wasn't necessarily expecting that. I was expecting people to be like, what are you talking about? That's so dumb. Why would you do that? But what I was doing was I was like, you know what? You could basically, there's 2 sides to it. One of which is, you don't necessarily have to carry as many mags and be completely outshot by an enemy, with an AEG. If you're playing a game right now, you've got a 35 round mag and the enemy have got 200 round mid caps, and they're going to be able to outshoot you all day. I love a reload, And with this magazine, it means that I could basically run 5 of these or 6 of these like I would normally. Then I could just carry a load of these cartridges in the back, in a backpack, in a pocket, or wherever it is, just as backup ammo, instead of carrying a speed loader or whatever that is. And then when I've got some downtime, I can literally almost one-handed just put these in, reload them. Oh, sorry, if I put it in properly. Reload it that quickly, probably get 2 uses of gas out of it, and then just carry a small gas can with me. And if I need to do more gas, then I could do that as well. So if this works inside the MWS, which I'm not sure it is because I haven't tried it yet, but if it does, that could be a bit of a game changer in like, this is a new style of mag. I can't find where to buy these. I literally cannot find anywhere else that I can find like a place to buy them. So that really doesn't help particularly. But if it didn't have this orange thing and it had the correct markings on it, I may well just go out and be like, right, I just will buy a load of these. The other side, which someone else wrote in a comment, was like, hey, you know what else would be awesome is if you're a person who wants to get into gas blowback magazines or gas blowbacks, but you don't want to buy all the magazines, because that's probably one of the most prohibitive parts of it, is all of these magazines are like $50, $60 a pop. And so not only are you paying like $500 for a gun, you're then spending another $500, $600, well, $400 on mags, just so that you've got a full set of mags to be able to use and play with the gun. With this, you could have 2 mags technically, buy a load of these inserts, and you could run an entire thing off 2 mags as you save up and get more mags if that's what you want to do. So that I was like, oh, that's not even something I thought about, but that is actually a really good point. Other thing as well is you could 3D print these. Like, oh, you drop the mag and it drops onto the feed lips, which is the main issue with dropping a gas blowback mag. Breaks the feed lips. Doesn't matter. I'll just put a different insert in so you could use it straight away that same day. You don't have to like go back, buy feed lips, etc. And if you 3D printed a load of these that would work, it could be good. Anyway, I'm getting like carried away because there is still like a main issue with this gun, which is that I don't know why it happened when I did it before, but for some reason there's that little like firing pin in here that I had to then reset again. And I had to put my finger in there, push it down, and then make it work again. I don't know why it seems to like not do that. If I if I cock it on empty, it's fine. So I don't know why it happens, but that seems to do that. So let's try out these other mags and just make sure that I'm not kind of getting a bit crazy. So I'm going to clock the action on this one. This is a standard Tokyo Marui mag. This is actually from my MTR16, but it's going to be the same, the feed lips, everything like that. I couldn't find, just as I was having a quick look around, I couldn't find a full size one, but this should be the same. So we'll go with this, and that works fine. Then what I'm going to try is one of these Angry Gun L5 mags. Now, I haven't had the best experience with these. They are incredible in terms of how lightweight they are. Some people absolutely love them. I so far have hated them, but I have bought a couple more, and I will be doing a test video on this. So we'll see if this works. That sits in. Not too much wobble on it. Let's see if this actually is going to work, though. Yep, so that works fine as well. And then I just emptied that, literally the last shot. And then let's finally try this, which is one of the CGS T8 mags. So this is pretty much the only other one. Again, when I put that in there, that slam fired. So I put that in and it just released the bolt. Not a big deal for some people, but that isn't great for me. That actually when I'm just putting that mag in, that's auto closing. Happens sometimes on my like XM5, sometimes on other replicas, but it is kind of annoying. It happens on pistols, but this one, so it is working, but I've actually just got a BB that got stuck in the can there. Yeah, so that one works fine as well. So all of those seem to be great, guys. Which is kind of weird. It's really, really weird. So now I don't necessarily hate this thing as much. I might just buy a new Magpul grip for this, or I'll print one and I'll put something else, but I might build this out as like a CQB version of the KS-1. Not CQB because it's a long rail, but like a not LPVO'd, like a little bit of a just like play around with, mess around with it, maybe a spare gun for friends, because it does look good. And it's like, I really wanted to love this gun, and now I'm kind of not back in love with it, but I am a bit more like, okay, this is kind of very cool. All right, let's just make sure, let's check this mag, because this is the main point, I think, of this video, is if this mag works in MWS, like standard MWS replicas, then I think we're looking at potentially a new type of mag that really could change the game. Like this little cartridge thing is really, really interesting. Please, I need to find someone who's not going to put it in orange, and we can have it in a proper color. But we'll see if this works in my Tokyo Marui Mk18. This is a heavily upgraded Tokyo Marui. I need to put some BBs in here. This is a good excuse to show you guys what it's like to fill. So this is a normal, or I say normal, it's a gas valve on the back. Again, the VFC ones like that I was testing against have them on the bottom, which I normally would always say put them on the side or the top, because if you drop it on the bottom, which is like if you're going to drop the mag, like it can obviously break, and that is a weak point. So I would say it's probably an advantage to have the location there. I mean, the Guns Modify ones all have them in a similar location. When I was looking at it, I was like, okay, this doesn't look that similar, but look at this. You can kind of see it isn't exactly the same, but it's a lot closer in the way it looks to the MWS as it is to the VFC. This is a V3 GM Guns Modify one. But this is so interesting. Like I'm really, really kind of confused by it. But like that, I didn't like this didn't click. I mean, obviously it's not described as being a as being MWS compatible, but for some reason in my head when I made the initial video, I was like, oh, it's an MWS compatible one. I should have just tested it out then and there, and then I wouldn't have even gone down this route. But I'm going to contact Octagon and say, hey, just so you're aware, your description and every other description that I've seen out there from retailers says this is VFC compatible, and it's not. And not only is it not, it's MWS compatible. So you need to get on that. Okay, so let's just do that many. So it is a bit of a weird load. I mean, I think you may get used to it. I mean, loading an airsoft magazine normally, well, like a regular one with a speed loader, isn't exactly like a realistic feeling to do it. So I don't think there's a big issue with like loading it this way. And I'm sure you could probably load it the same way if you wanted to. You don't necessarily need to pull that out. But this is going to be the moment of truth, guys. Does the KS-1 magazine from WellPro fit in the MWS? And it seems like it does, and it also seems super solid. Like there is no movement in that at all. At all. Like it's snug, like maybe too snug slightly, because when I release that, it's not dropping, but with a little pull, it comes out. So let's see if this feeds. Okay, that seemed fine. And it's feeding. I mean, again, there, it didn't actually, it seems like it's running low on gas. So let's try and, I should, like, now I'm like, this is kind of something that could be a big deal. This magazine, maybe I should just start doing some testing on it, like gas capacity, etc. But it's pretty amazing that that is actually like feeding and working fine. I mean, I may go out now and just try and see if I can find these somewhere, because I was looking yesterday when after the video I made, I was like, okay, well, there's no way that this is usable because it's only going to use these specific mags and I can't get hold of them. And when I looked actually online on Octagon where I got it, they had mags for the KS-1, but it looked like they were older version mags because they were like Stanags. They weren't the P mags, which is like this style with all the wrong branding on it. Yeah, I mean, this is really interesting. Okay, let's just finish this. Let's make sure it feeds in full auto. I just think the only issue that we might have with this is gas capacity, because it didn't give me a bolt lock on that one there. And it does sound like that gas is running lower and lower. So I'll do a future video just on gas capacity on this. But update, guys, the KS-1 is compatible not with VFC, but it is compatible with MWS. So that's kind of where it's at. So I'll do a separate video, guys, on this magazine. I'll see if I can get a few more of them. And basically, I'll do a test of this on the Guns Modify. I'll do it on my CGS. But I'm imagining if it's running all of those mags and it's running on the TMMWS that I've got here, then it should probably work on everything, which is pretty crazy. So I think the only downside we're going to potentially have to this is the orange and the markings, but the downside could be gas capacity. So I'm going to do some tests. We're going to work it out. Other thing which is very interesting is that I've got the PROW XM5 coming, and PROW apparently is WellPro. It's delayed, unfortunately, but when I look at the pictures, I think it's got a similar loading system where it is this kind of cartridge for the BBs separate in the mag. That one's a straight one because it's a straight, like larger caliber magazine. But that could be now something that WellPro have decided to do, is they're doing this design. So really, really interesting. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Do you think it's cool? Do you not like it? I really kind of want to figure that out. I'll try and release this as soon as I possibly can. But have a great day wherever you are, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Goodbye.